Welcome back to another episode of the FUNFAIR Natter. Today's a special one. Today is a much requested episode. We have Simon Elkins and Paul Alborough here, two ex-Gaff lads. We're basically going to go back in time to when they're a lot younger, a lot slimmer, probably better looking, and we're going to find out some stories about the Gaff and how they started, what ride did they work on, some stories, how Paul got punched in a ghost train. We're just going to go back and chat to these boys about their time on the fair, basically, and we have some YouTube member questions later on. So I'll crack this off by introducing our two wonderful guests today. We have the one and only Mr. Two Tokens, Simon Elkins.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
How are you, Si?
All right, mate. Yeah, all good. You know, just bit slight anxiety coming up today, but I mean, come on, I'll just slap that in the face.
Mate, I think everyone's the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
I had it yesterday. I was having a meltdown yesterday.
Yeah. You always have meltdowns, but
mate, and Sam's been baking all day, so I've had cookies, I've had banana cake.
And what did you just say about us being me and Paul being slimmer back in the day? Well, I think we're still a lot slimmer than you, big boy.
You are, mate. I've got to try and shift this weight before we get back on.
Yeah, you've been trying to shift it for 5 years.
Yeah, but it won't be Christmas weight now. It'll be lockdown weight.
Lockdown weight is double worse than Christmas weight.
But we've got Paul here as well. You might remember Paul from. He's been in a couple of vlogs now. He's been in Farnborough and the Reading vlog. Hi, Paul.
Yeah, hi, Dave. Hi, Si.
Hello.
How are you, Paul?
Yeah, not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. We just had a bit of a mare trying to get Simon's microphone working, didn't we?
We certainly did. He's supposed to be a DJ, but he can't even work the microphone.
Oh, here he goes. Listen, my mic was working. It was just no volume coming out of the telly, but I've sorted it now. I just changed the settings.
Yeah, does, but the thing is, Si, we've only got your side of the story on that one.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on, Paul. Just bring it, boy.
Orbs. We've got the orbs, Si. Orbs.
He thinks he's got orbs, but he ain't. Oh, there's a story about your orbs, isn't there, Paul?
Oh, is there?
Oh, there's a few stories.
We'll get into them later on then. I can't wait for this. But how's lockdown treating you, Paul? I know you've been at work for everything, so you're kind of still in routine almost, aren't you? Still working.
From my side of it, it's not too bad. Obviously, I'm out, working most days. 4 days a week I'm working.
Part-timer. Sorry.
Part-time.
Yeah, right. But yeah, like I say, in the main, it's not too bad. It's a days off I dread, really, because you're sat indoors doing nothing.
Yeah, I see. I think that's what's getting to me. And like Si just said about his anxiety, it's not good, but we're doing our part.
Well, that's it. And then but the thing is, though, like, what are they saying now? This is going to be the hottest April in God knows how many years. And you're thinking, what the hell? I mean, seriously, this is God's punishment. It really is. He's like, you've got to stay in. I'm going to give you a really crap February and January, right? And then I'm going to lock you all down and give you a virus. And then I'm going to make the bloody weather glorious. It's like, thanks, mate.
And it's going to come along and bake you.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Well, Dave's been doing the baking today. Apparently, I've just had a message from Sam, and they've got no cookies left. He's actually
no, I haven't. Already. I haven't had any.
Well, I think Dave should do a delivery service.
I said I had banana cake, but the cookies, I'm going to leave them for tomorrow. Sam's put actual honeycomb in them. Oh, man.
Now, the thing is, if it's Sam's cooking, that's fine. But if it's your cooking, no chance.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
I'm not allowed anywhere near the kitchen anymore.
Yeah, please.
Raw bacon.
Having seen your cooking over the past week or so, mate, I'm not surprised.
Well, I've got to be honest. I think some of my some of my creations have been 10 out of 10. I mean, that all-day breakfast I had on toast, that was bloody delicious. You've seen it in Tesco's site, all-day breakfast in a tin. It's like 50p, but it's the bomb, mate. Delicious.
But listen, the cheese wasn't browned off enough and the toast was underdone.
Bloody hell. Everybody's a bloody chef on Facebook.
Food critic. No, I've seen those all-day breakfasts, but those sausages, they're like mini hot dog sausages, aren't they? They're not proper sausages. So I've had them before, but It makes the beans taste a bit odd.
Yeah, and you got meatballs in there, which I don't quite understand.
Has it? I haven't seen that. I didn't. That must be the new one.
That's just a bit weird.
It is a bit weird, but it's nice. I really enjoyed it.
Anything?
Well, I wouldn't eat anything. I wouldn't eat your cooking.
Very funny.
I see, bloody hell! Did you see? Talking about cooking, and Martin Cooper's not getting away with this one. You see his kids' party dinner the other day.
Fish fingers. It looked like he got it from one of those great big kids centres, doesn't it? You know when they charge you 20 quid for a meal, and then they just pop that in front of you.
Like a birthday party at kids today.
To be fair, he probably did. I mean, he is a big kid, isn't he? Let's face it.
Oh,
yeah, I'll give you that. Unfortunately, though, I would say yes, but they're all bloody closed, aren't they?
Yeah. So yeah, Cooper's breakfast isn't getting a pass on this.
Was that a breakfast or dinner?
Oh no, sorry, it was a dinner, wasn't it? Fish finger and chips is a dinner.
Although to be fair, Dave, I still think it was better than some of your attempts.
I've got to be honest with you,
God's
Paul.
sake.
Me too.
Right, let's skip past the food. Let's get straight onto the bloody.
Just got to say one thing before we go in. I know we never really met the guy. We'd met him once, didn't we? Phil Heath.
Yeah. Legend.
Yeah, an absolute legend. Massive loss, unfortunately, to the fairground community. So, we just sort of dedicate this for him,
absolutely,
for his friends and that, and the fun fairground industry. So,
there you go, Phil. This is for you, mate, and all your friends and family. Like I said, we only met him once, but a gentleman and a ambassador to the fun fair community and showman community. Everything. Yeah, the Hulk Hogan lookalike, and I've been seeing a lot of, was it fish and chips dedicated to
That's
Phil?
what it was. That's what Cooper's dinner was, wasn't it? But he didn't have fish, so he did fish fingers.
Bloody hell, Coops!
Well, I suppose it still contains fish. I mean,
well, not real fish.
Might as well have a fish cake.
Unless they're bird's eye ones. I don't know. No, Coops. They're probably not only the best for Coops.
No, they're the Tesco value ones.
Absolutely. Right, boys. Should we get on to the main subject, because I do want to keep this within the hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, this is a podcast about you guys and your time working on the fairs and basically what it's like and what you did. So, Si, should we start with you? What's the earliest memories of fairs?
First of all, I just want to state that Paul Aubra was a part-timer.
Ooh. So did you actually travel with the fairs? Did he just
No, I didn't travel. Well, I say I didn't travel. I used to, especially with Bob Stevens, who I worked for, I used to get phone calls every now and again saying, "Can I come across to such and such and do this ground and that sort of stuff?" And that's how it started, really. Just me helping out on the odd job.
Yeah.
He is an odd job. Well, for me, the first ever... what do you mean? I mean, the first ever time I...
Well, this started your love for fairs. Where did that come from? Your early days?
I used to live, if anybody knows Winchester, I used to live in a place called St. Martin's Close in Winnell. Yeah. And our house, which ain't there anymore, and I swear it was haunted. We moved away from that place when I was 4, but I still remember from my bedroom looking out the window, and it was dark. And when the fair used to be on North Walls Park, I had a clear view of it out my window.
Oh, awesome!
Like the big wheel and everything going round, and that was my first sort of real experience. And do you know what? I must have been 3.
Oh wow, really young
maybe
then.
Even younger. I don't know, but that's a vivid memory I've always remembered. I've always remembered that. So I think pretty much most of my life.
Yeah, you just saw those lights and attracted you.
It was amazing, yeah.
So you 3 years old. What was that? 1950s, something like that.
Yeah. Well, if I was 1950s, then Paul was 1940s and Cooper's was the 20s. You know, but yeah, it would have been in the 80s.
In the 80s,
early 80s.
And did your parents used to take you as a kid, or were they not a fan of the fairs?
They did. They used to take me, and I all the time. I'd always they'd take me to the fair. But when we used to go on holiday, and if there was a fair about, and we were in the car, they'd be like, "Oh my God, look at that!" So I'd look the other way, so I wouldn't see the fair. because they knew so cruel. I know. Well, you know what parents do to save money, but I mean, I'm sure you've done things like that before in your time.
Never.
But, yeah, but yeah. So they did. But they did. To be fair, they took me to the fairs quite often. But by the time I'd got to about 5 or 6, of course, back in those days, it wasn't so bad.
You could go on your own. Yeah,
I did. I used to. That's when I moved to Week in Winchester. So I used to walk from Taplin Road where I lived all the way down to North Walls Park, go to the fair, and then come back again. And I did it every year. And it used to come twice a year here.
It's brilliant. Now it doesn't come at all. We haven't got a fair in Winchester, sadly. But that's a topic for another podcast. We can have a rant about the council side.
Yeah, we certainly can. I'm quite happy to do that.
Council rant.
He does, mate. So I love that. If you're friends with him on Facebook, you'll know all about it. And Paul, what about you then? Early memories, Paul, from the fair.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. I mean, originally when I first started going to the fairs, it wasn't really much in Winchester, to be honest. I do remember them when I was very young. But then for years, we used to, for the family holiday each year, it was always at Butlins. Yeah. And it was nice. I'd bugger off and spend the whole day on the fair, just meet up with the family at certain points during the day. And it grew from that, really. And then when I got a bit older, started getting out a bit more on my own and started my first job and whatever, I started getting along to them regularly. If it was in Winchester, I'd be there.
Yeah.
And it really went from there, mate. And then obviously, I mean, well, you know, that me and Simon have known each other for a blooming long time.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Yeah. I mean, probably. We were at school together, weren't we, Si? So, then Si had obviously been working on the fairs. I used to turn up at quite a few. Used to take drive side at quite a few.
Yeah.
And it went from there, mate.
So, Si, when did you start working on the site, on the fair? How old were you when you started, just helping out and stuff?
Yeah, the first fair I worked on was casual. Again, in Winchester. It was, funny enough, it's Ross's ghost train now.
Oh, was it really? Is that your first,
My
job?
First role I ever worked on, but it was Jimmy Appleton's at the time.
Yeah.
And that was in Winchester. And I just went down and asked for a job. I was, I would say I was about 13.
Yeah.
So I worked for the week for Jimmy Appleton. And then when they left, I was all sad and,
Oh.
And then the next year it came, I got booted out of school.
All right.
And I was working. I used to have to go to this school 3 hours a day. They used to pick me up and then take me home. But then they gave us work experience, and I was working in the leisure centre.
Oh, in town, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember being stood up by the swimming pool and seeing the fair pulling in. Because obviously it was right by the ground, and I was so I popped over there, and I just went, has anyone got a job? And John Wall was like, oh, yeah, if you go and ask Bobby over there. And that was it. I done that week on the Roundup, and I said, I'm coming with you. So and that was it, really. I loved it so much that I just went with him.
You started on the ghost train, just helping out. Was that just taking money, showing people to the cars, etc.?
Yeah, and then pushing the cars to go in.
Yeah, pushing the cars in.
They didn't have the button then.
No, yeah. This is where they're all high tech now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then that was your main job, wasn't it? So I've heard the stories about the Roundup loads, which is now Aaron Phillips Roundup, isn't it? We still ride it today.
Done a beautiful job of it, and we do still ride it today, and it's still my baby.
Yeah, I mean, so what were you doing on the Roundup side? Was it just a case of showing people and balancing it out? That's the kind of job that you just would start off and doing on a Roundup, showing people in.
Yeah, well, obviously we'd pull into the town, build up and everything, and I'd have to do all the maintenance on it as well.
Let's talk about that quick, Si, about the building up, pulling and building up and stuff. What does it take to build up a Roundup?
Well, I mean, what Aaron's done with it now, he's done a great job. So it literally folds out now. I mean, it did back then. It did back then. But what you would do is from folded position, you'd release these two bars on either side like the front end and the back end, and that would come down. Then you open the cages up,
the
arms, and then you would open the cage up and then link it, put a coupling pin through it, and then put an R clip in, and go around and do all them.
Yeah.
And then you'd go around and put like these big metal the bits in for the floorboards. Then you put the floorboards. Then you'd go up and you'd put all the tie rods in. You know, the metal things from the top, from the middle to the. You put them in and I'll clip them all up. They'd always have to face outwards.
Yeah.
Bobby says if they're pointing in, someone's going to pull an R clip out. So we always did that. And then obviously, well, I've missed bits, but there was like the feet at the bottom. You had to.
Yeah.
They were all manual.
Just the general bits.
It was all manual back then as well. So you used to have to get a great big bar out and tighten up the feet.
Yeah.
So that'd be like dead tight. But nowadays it's all done by electrics.
What's the time for a build up? Back in the olden days when you're working, what do you say your average build up time would be?
Back in the old days where they had massive heavy aluminium stairs. So we had to pull them down as well and build them up, put all the gratings around. I would say, and the front, we had a front spray on it as well, see, back then.
Nice.
I would say about 3 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad. Not too bad.
Because I used to get, a lot of people used to say to me, "Oh, you work on a juvenile." Because it was, it was easier to build up than a lot of other machines. But
especially back in them days.
Oh God, yeah, back in those days as well. Waltzers weren't fold out. Dodgems weren't fold out.
No hydraulics. No hydraulic drives on them.
They had hydraulic drives on them, obviously to level them out a bit, but nothing to the extent that they've got now.
They're not just fold out.
The thing is, to be fair, I mean, like you say, Si, about it saying about it being like a juvenile, and really, compared to a lot of the bigger stuff, that one is, isn't it? It's it's I mean, obviously, me and Si have both worked on that Roundup.
I didn't know you worked on it as well, Paul.
Oh yeah.
Ah, so Paul worked on it as well, the same Roundup, same time.
Later on.
Later on, we did, So there was very few occasions where we actually worked together, were there, Si? But it did happen.
It did, yeah.
So you don't really need two people showing people in, do you? Showing people where to stand. So
depends how busy you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bloody hell. Yeah. Back in them days when fairs were actually heaving.
Absolutely packed. When half price night used to be called in Winchester, and you couldn't move down there, and it was
shoulder to shoulder.
It was, and it was full ride, up down, up down, up down, up down, all night long, from open to close.
Unbelievable. Sounds awesome.
Those were the days.
Oh mate, I wish I was around the fairs in them days.
No, you were too busy playing with yourself over little roller coasters.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I was. So, Paul, what was your first job working on the fairs?
Well, my first job was working on Stuart McCohen's Ghost Train up in Basingstoke.
So you both started with a ghost train.
Yes, we did. Yeah, different ones, but we both started on the song Ghost Trains.
Have I seen that one, Paul? Is it still travelling the area?
No, I believe it's in Malaysia now, in its side.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in Malaysia.
Is that the one you got decked on, Paul?
It was, yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean that only came about by chance. I'd run Si up to Basingstoke for the day.
Yeah,
and I got asked if I wanted a job on the ghost train that day, including doing the pull down that evening.
Didn't you do the whole week there, Paul?
No, not that. That was 93. No, that was only the one day.
Oh, okay.
The following year, I did the whole week.
That's right.
On the ghost train again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. The
awesome.
Following year, I did the full week on the ghost train. And that's when I got smacked in the face. And
it was because we were literally opposite each other, weren't we? You were sort of like opposite the Roundup, weren't you? So
that's right. We were. Yeah, literally
wave at each other.
He was inside most of the time.
Oh, were you an actor, Paul? Oh, of course you were, because that's where you got smacked. You had wearing a mask.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
not that you needed a mask.
I'll tell you what. To be fair, okay, once I got smacked in the face on one occasion, they got my foot run over on another.
Oh my god!
It was good fun.
Brilliant.
It really was.
Honestly, you should have seen him come wobbling out of the door, though. I've been punched in the face. Me and Bobby were creased up. We really were.
We were just staggering around.
What's hilarious?
So what happened, Paul? Did you just basically jump out like you do?
Yeah, I'd jumped out as a guillotine inside the ghost train, and I hide down behind it. Then when the car come through, come running out behind the car and jump on the back. And this poor guy, well, I'll tell you, this poor guy, he's him and his girlfriend and your wife, whatever, in his car. And I think I made him jump so much, he swung around and just fucked me in the face.
Well, you do, didn't you? It's a reaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some people would just swing your arm out, and because you're scared. Bloody hell! Did he apologise?
No, because I don't think he saw me after that. Because obviously the train carried on through. And...
You were on the deck.
He was blacked out.
The next car ran him over.
That's when his foot got run over. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant! So, again, Paul, is that just basically showing people to the car, pushing the cars in, and getting in there and scaring the living?
Yeah, I mean that's all part of it, but most of what I was doing was the actual inside bit. So
just the inside.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you'd be out in the front some of the time, but what you do is when you knew one was coming through, you sort of sneak in.
Yeah.
Through the doors behind you.
Was it a big ghost train, double decker or anything? Was it a single decker?
No, it wasn't a double decker. It was a fairly small single deck.
I suppose back in them days, did you get many double deckers, Si? Or they're all pretty much standard single deckers?
No, they came around in the late 90s, really. Those sort of double
bigger roller coasters. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, roller coasters were the first sort of double deckers to come out. There were a few around back then, but most of them were your standard one deck ones. And I remember Stuart McCone's one was very small, wasn't it, Paul?
It was, yeah. I mean, and a pull down on it was less than an hour.
Oh, bloody hell. That's really good for a ghost train, because Ross's takes quite a while, didn't it? Sorry.
It's wider. It's the width of it. It's that's to do with the width and the length. That's one of the reasons he wants to get rid of it, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, because
you can't get it anywhere. It's too
That's
big.
right.
Plus, he has loads of working stuff, doesn't he, on the front, mechanical stuff, moving things on the front that he's hoying up. And
used to have trouble getting past that at Southampton Common when Belle was little because it would scare the hell out of her.
Like Frankenstein on the front.
Yeah, the mummy, yeah.
The mummy, isn't it, as well, yeah. So, sorry then, did you literally work on the fair once a year when it come round, or did you travel with the fair and actually stay in a trailer, or?
No, I travelled.
You actually did travel?
Yeah, from Winchester the first year, that would have been 1992.
Mm-hmm.
I left with them. So we went from Winchester. Funny enough, we went straight from Winchester to Southampton Common.
Oh, was it Southampton Common, yeah?
Yeah, because it was the Easter fair. So we came from Winchester to April. So it was Winchester, then Southampton. After Southampton, we went up to... Where did we go? We went to Cornwall.
Cornwall?
We went to Helston. We did Helston Flora Day.
Bloody, that's a long old trek, that is. Southampton to Cornwall.
Mate, it took hours. I mean, hours.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the truck. In fact, I didn't ride in the truck. Bobby and Shirley, his wife, and Jet the dog, they were in the
Jet the dog? Oh.
Yeah, they were in the lorry. And Nigel, my mate, obviously you know Nigel, we all know Nigel.
Yeah.
He would drive Shirley's kiosk.
All right, yeah.
Bobby's Jeep. So I would go up with Nige to that, when they were long distance.
Yeah.
And I just remember, it took forever. It was something like 7 hours.
Yeah, because they're not the fastest things, are they, as well, with big trucks and trailers?
Exactly. You couldn't go that fast. And
they're restricted, aren't they?
Yeah. But Bobby used to have the big Merc truck, then he'd have the Roundup on the back, and then he'd have his trailer on the back of that.
Bloody hell.
So it was really long. But I just remember absolutely bursting for a pee somewhere. Where I was like,
oh, what a surprise!
I know.
Nothing changes, sorry, does it?
And I had to pee in a Coke can, worrying that I would cut my foreskin off. You know, crazy.
Nah, trust me, Si, you got plenty of leeway in there.
Plenty, yeah. Just slipped in like a cocktail stick.
I bet it did, mate. I bet it did. So bloody hell, what was your living quarters like then, Si, back then? Like, you didn't have a trailer, did you? A what?
No, a kip truck.
What's that? I don't know what a kip truck is.
Well, basically, in the back of the lorry, the generators were in there, and then Bob on the side of the lorry at sort of near the front, near the cab, there was a door, and Bobby had built that in there, and then he like boarded it all off. So you go in, you had like a shelf in there, and my telly on it.
Oh, awesome!
And my radio there, and then I'd like have a cabin bed in there. So there, none of the generators was showing, and that you had your own little space. But it was tiny.
But they're loud though.
It was always warm, mate, because
because the heat,
the generators. Yeah, so, but yeah, that was it. And to go for a shower, you'd either have to go to the leisure centre if there was one around. Otherwise, I would be jumping in ponds.
Just jumping in ponds.
Yeah, quite often I'd jump in a pond. I hate being dirty, so I would a pond. Just go and jump in a pond or tip buckets.
You got 3 digs really. You get your free food and drink, didn't you, when you're on the fair traveling?
Yeah, Paul will tell you all about that food as well, I think.
Yeah.
Do you get sick of it after a while? Was it just too much?
I mean, Shirley was a good cook, so when we weren't open, I'd get a cooked meal. You know, so in the morning, Bobby would come along, bang on the bloody. Like, I can't stop me get up. No, we got things to do. But like, oh God, what we got to do today? You know, this be like 8 a.m. So we don't know till 6. But anyway, and then Shirley would come out. She'd always give me 2 slices of really thick toast with butter on and a cup of tea.
Oh, lovely.
And then for lunch, she'd come out with sandwiches and that. And then for dinner, she'd cook. You know, she'd cook something. But if we was open, it'd be lunchtime. Yeah, sausage and chips. Dinner time. Right, sausage and chips.
Just go and grab a burger or something.
And it was like, oh God. Well, yeah, she just used to dish it up and pass it over. Oh God, man, I went off sausage and chips for a long time.
Yeah, then come the end of the night when it was shutting down, you get all the leftovers.
Oh
yeah, and it was really full of grease by the end of it, wasn't it, Paul? You just bite into it. And it was like, oh God.
You've done well to stay so slim, you boys.
Well,
I was trouble with that.
You're always working though, because you know, as I said, I was doing maintenance as well. With Bobby.
I was going to ask because you said Bobby would get you up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you said you didn't open till 6. So what the hell did you do from 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock every day?
Have things to do. He'd always get me things to do. There'd be like there was one time we had to go. We was in Swindon, and we had to go to a yard somewhere, and in the back he had a like massive diesel tank, but it was leaking. And he went, oh, sod it. And we had to put this massive chain round it, right? And then pull it out. Another truck come along and we pulled it out. So we had to get that out the back. And then an even bigger tank we had to put back in. A replacement.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, Jesus. And that took a whole day. Oh, my God. That was hard work. I was covered from head to toe.
Is that in the, like, Easter time as well? So it's piping hot. You're bloody...
No, actually, that would have been... That was the summer. Mate, that was
of course like, after the Southampton Common Fair was that. Yeah,
it must have been July time.
Oh man,
do you remember that year changing the hydraulic pump on the Roundup, Si?
Yes, I do.
What happened? Was that you, Si? Another big job.
Well, Paul was there as well.
Yeah, hydraulic pump. A few others on it. It was the hydraulic pump on the Roundup that lifts it up had failed.
Oh no!
And, it literally had to dismantle the pay box and drag the hydraulic pump out through the pay box.
Bloody hell! Is that all in a day's work as well? All in a day's work?
That was during the day and into the evening. Because it didn't open that night. Because obviously it wasn't working.
No.
So it was working for the day and the evening, so I wanted to get it up and running.
Yep, but
that's the thing about fairs, isn't it, Si? Is they're so quick to get things open because they're losing money. Not like a theme park. If something breaks, it will be down for 2 months.
Yeah, they don't care.
Like obviously we know Lee Matthews, he travelled the length of the country to get a part for the waltzer just so he could open the next day. It's crazy, isn't it?
And that unfortunately for Lee, it happened bloody twice as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So much bad luck with that.
Within 3 months, poor bloke. And now he's got to deal with this crap.
Yeah.
Mind you, Didn't Marin have that same hydraulic pump fail a couple of years ago?
Yeah, he's had it all changed now, though, isn't he? He's had it completely. You don't need to balance it up properly anymore, either, do you? Because the way he's
Oh, that must be heaven to work now.
Yeah.
So Paul, then, Si's a proper gaff lad. He travelled and everything. You're just a part timer. You didn't travel or nothing.
No, I didn't. Mostly because I was trying to fit it in around a full-time job as well.
Yeah, just a bit of extra money on the side.
Yeah, and I mean, I got to know a few of the showmen. Got to know obviously Bob, who had the Roundup.
Yeah,
Stuart, who had the Ghost Train, and John Wall, all of that lot. And it got to the point where pretty much I was like Bob's go-to guy.
Yeah.
If Bob needed somebody, to help out on a particular event, he'd phone me up, and if I could do it, I would.
Did you? This is the big question, Paul. Were you ever hired as a punch bag in a funhouse?
No.
Can you imagine that? Him on a bit of string, just
hanging there. So Paul, was the Ghost Train pretty much the only thing you did? I know you helped up on the Roundup. Was there any other kind of ride you worked on?
Not sort of regular work on him, but I do bits. With John Wall, I did helped out a few pull downs, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think if you do work on the fair site, you pretty much you can go anywhere and help anyone, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah, if you're free, they might offer your services out.
Yeah, and then I mean, I know that Paul offered to walk the waltzer once. John Wall's waltzer.
Oh, what happened? Is that a story?
I wouldn't say it offered to walk it.
Oh, come on, tell us. This is juicy.
Well, little John, I don't know if you know him, Si certainly does.
Yeah.
He said to me, can I help out? I said, yeah. I said, no, I've never walked this thing. Where do you want to go? Yeah, give it a go. Well, I did.
Sorry, this is the waltzer. That's the fastest one you've ever done, right?
Fastest waltzer ever.
It's a brilliant machine. It really is.
Paul's going to walk this platform, yeah?
Okay. Paul's going to walk those platforms.
Well,
all right, carry on, Paul.
I started off on the platform himself, and with it gradually setting off and whatever. Fine, no problem. He said to me, right, he said, now you need to sort of be able to step on and off the centre.
Yeah.
I'll give that a go, and I watch one of the other guys do it. You sort of flick your leg round behind, and then set off walking.
Looks easy enough, Paul.
Well, it does. I thought that can't be that difficult. So I stepped off the middle. One foot coming around and wiped the other one out from underneath me. And I ended up flat out on the platform with it going. So, of course, your automatic reaction is to grab hold of something when you fall, isn't it?
Oh, you grabbed the car, didn't you?
I did.
And what happened? Did it pull you around?
No, I grabbed the car. It threw me off. I completely cleared the stairs and ended up on the grass at the bottom.
Ouch! Where were you, Sile, at this point?
Unfortunately, at that point, I would have been at Barry Island by then.
Oh, no. That would have been... Can you imagine just seeing that happen, Sile, unfold in front of you?
It would have been amazing.
Let's put it this way, mate. I'm not the first one who's done it, and I very much doubt I'll be the last.
I've seen so many people fly off. You really do have to respect the waltzer, the platform, don't you?
You do. And what was lucky, Paul? It wasn't hard ground, was it? He was on grass. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, some stairs have handrails going up. Imagine getting flung into one of those handrails. That would have done some damage.
I don't think John didn't have those on the front, did he, Paul?
No, he didn't. No.
So just a straight down the stairs onto the grass. So you survived injury free relatively.
Yeah.
Was that did you go out the front, Paul? Because back in those days there was three ways of getting on and off a waltzer.
There was, yeah. But no, yes, it was the main front one.
That's brilliant.
I don't think that Dave knows that really. That there used to be stairs on either side as well.
So really?
You'd have the front and then the side, the right.
I've seen a few with the side with stairs on the side, but they don't really use them, do they? They like barricade them off, chain them off.
They're barricaded off nowadays.
Yeah,
health and safety.
Is that because they used to get so busy that literally they needed free entrance points? Because people back in the olden days, they used to surround the boards, didn't they? Stand around the edge of the waltzer.
Yeah, you just stay behind the yellow line.
You're not allowed now, health and safety, are you?
But I never ever saw anybody get hurt stood there watching it. I just think it's completely ridiculous.
Mate, I could imagine the atmosphere, what that done for the atmosphere.
Amazing.
People all stood around in a circle.
Amazing.
Yeah. The ride going. Oh.
You think about it, mate. You got the ride going, the music, you got the lights. It's brilliant atmosphere up on those platforms.
I bet. Of course, health and safety had to ruin it, like everything else.
Usual thing, mate. Health and safety gone mad.
Absolutely. Yep. So, what happened then, Si, mate? You done this for how long? Sorry, we went off track. Go back to you working on the Roundup.
Talking about going off track, we'll say something about that in a bit. But first of all, Roundup. I left in 95.
So you've done that for a couple of years.
92 to 95, and then it was Easter 95 was my last run with Bobby at Southampton Common, and we were next to the Quasar, actually, Crazy Quasar. That was.
I've never done that ride, have I?
No, there's not one left in the country now. And I remember Bobby going, "Oh, Simon's off. He's going to be a star, because I was going to be a Bluecoat, wasn't I?" So,
that's when you left for Barry Island.
Barry Island, that's right. So I left for a few years because I did Barry Island for 2 years, and then I did another park in 97. But I left that park in 97 July, and that's then around about the time where I worked a bit with Paul from that. From those days until about 1999 was the last year I did anything on the fairs working. Boys.
So you weren't traveling, but you were still working on and off, helping out the fairs.
I did start traveling for a little while again.
Yeah.
But it wasn't long. It was only a couple of months. There wasn't much left of the season.
So you swapped all the grease and dirt and hard work for glamour and glitz of Barry Island and being a Bluecoat.
Indeed.
Of course, you still had rides though, so you didn't go too far away. You still had rides on your doorstep. Was Barry Island a park then?
Yeah. I mean, the holiday park we didn't have any rides left on the holiday park because they got damaged in the storms in like 91, I think.
Yeah.
Or 90, 91. And the only thing we had left on the park were the Dodgems, which were indoors.
Yeah.
But obviously outside, you go straight out the gate and right opposite the park was Barry Island Pleasure Park.
Pleasure Park, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, with a log flume and everything. So, and I used to run, the first year I was there, I used to run the teen machine.
Yeah.
And in the daytime, we'd do different things. And on one of the days would be trip to the theme park. So I was like, I'm happy.
Oh, awesome. And obviously, moving on a bit, you then worked abroad, didn't you, Si? You went to Thailand, DJing.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I left the UK in 98.
Yeah.
August 98. So it would have been 98, though. No, 99.
Yeah.
No, it was 98. Sorry, so it would have been 98.
His memory's not what it was. He is old now.
So 98 would have been my last.
Dementia.
Thank you. Yeah, my last year would have been 98. Doing anything with the fairs. And then I was DJing in Winchester at one of the nightclubs in Winchester, and someone come up to me and goes, "Oh, do you want to go to China?" And I'm like, "Shut up, you fool!" Piss. And he goes, "No," and he gave me his card and that. And then the week later, there was 4 other DJs in the nightclub, and we all had to do an hour each. He wanted to hear us all.
Oh, like an audition.
Yeah, basically.
Hell.
It was a Tuesday night, student night, so and that was my night anyway. And then he called us all up, and we were sat around, and he goes, I remember this one cocky DJ. His name was, I can't remember his name, but I can't remember his name. I'm not going to say it because he might
name and shame.
Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, lads, you all might as well go home now because I got the job." And then I came over, Richard, and he went, "Right, Simon, get your bags packed. We need to get you to China, Hong Kong, in 2 weeks." And
that's awesome, man.
And then, I went to Hong Kong for a week, and then I was based in Beijing. I had to go to Beijing to work, and I went to Beijing for 3 months. Then that contract had ended, and I came back, and I worked in Hong Kong till '99, and then I got offered the DJ job in Thailand, and I was in Thailand then on and off till 2006. But there was one.
What
year
you don't tell you,
yeah.
The only reason you want to go to Thailand was to get yourself a ladyboy.
Get myself.
I wanted to come on to that actually.
Listen, I've seen Paul with a wig on, so that's pretty much why.
See, if you get a ladyboy style, you got the best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. But there was like in between. It'd be 2003, 2004. I finished one contract in Bangkok, and I was going to come back to the UK for a while. Yeah. So I knew I had another contract coming up, but it wouldn't till a year later. But I ended up getting offered work in Abu Dhabi, where they have really good roller coasters now. They had nothing back then, by the way.
Yeah, they've got some really good parks out there.
Yeah, they didn't have then. And so I worked in Abu Dhabi for 4 months, and then I went from Abu Dhabi to Dubai for
Jesus Christ,
3 months.
You're a well-travelled man. I didn't know all this.
Very well-travelled, yeah. And
seasoned vet.
Yeah, and then I did a bit in Greece, but I hated it and went back to Bangkok.
Bloody hell. Because the ladyboys, they drew you back in.
No, but the women there are beautiful.
Whereabouts in Greece were you, Si?
You what, Paul?
Whereabouts in Greece were you?
Kos.
Oh, right, yeah.
Kos
Island. I like the Greek islands.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I hate the place.
Sorry, we have any Greek listeners.
I like the Greeks. Don't get me wrong. I like the Greeks. I just didn't like that place because it was nearly all loud, rowdy British people there.
Yeah, the tourists, British tourists ruined it.
I hated it. One of the reasons I liked Thailand so much was there was a mix of every culture. And so it wasn't so much of the loud Brits all the time. I'm not saying all Brits are like that, but you know what? The sort of people that go to Ibiza and that.
Yeah, lads on tour, isn't it?
Lads on tour, and I ate it, so I end up smashing faces.
Roundhousing a few people.
Roundhousing people everywhere. But yeah, all good.
So I was going to come on to, sorry, about your foreign travel. It's basically the foreign fairs, like your dealings with fairs abroad, because obviously at this point you're a fair enthusiast. You don't like to admit you are, but
I'm not an enthusiast.
What are the fairs? What are they like abroad in like Hong Kong, Thailand? I suppose you do get them. You get them everywhere, didn't you?
Well, you see, Hong Kong didn't really have fun fairs when I was there. They had a couple of amusement parks. You had there was 2 there. I can't remember the bloody names of them now. One of them had a roller coaster right over the cliff.
Oh, I think that's still there, isn't it? I've seen videos.
Yes, it's still there. Oh God, what's the name?
I can't remember the name, but I've seen it. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and I went there a couple of times. It wasn't
cable cars as well, isn't it? It's got cable cars.
Yes, that's what takes you from the entrance over because you can't get there without going on the cable.
That's right. I've seen that.
They go across the cliff.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really any travelling fairs. I know they get the travelling fair there now.
Because Atmosphere goes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's mostly British machines. They have a few other like Eastern European fair rides go over there with them. But the only place I really saw a travelling fair was Thailand. And their travelling fairs consisted of dodgems, which were like the fold-out ones, like we got here.
Yeah.
But looked like they were 175,000 years old. And a Thai-built big wheel, which was really strange. It wasn't very big, but it used to go around at about 40 miles an hour.
Oh, bloody hell.
Absolutely insane.
Did you do it, yeah?
And some juveniles, and then the rest of it would just be like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of game stalls.
So it's just a couple of rides and mostly game stalls. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be about it. But they also had the travelling fair over from the UK there once as well, but I wasn't there at the time. But they used to find it. So, I'd be driving past Tesco Lotus, which is Tesco, obviously.
Yeah.
And it'd be just sat in their car park. There'd be a little fair there. But like, oh, go to the fair then. So, But yeah.
Because you see a lot of fairground accidents. You see a lot of China and stuff are like fake rides, aren't they? Poorly put together rides. I just wondered if you come across anything like that.
Not in Thailand.
Not in Thailand.
I mean, they're poorly put together. Don't get me wrong.
Like the 40 mile an hour big wheel.
I mean, that's just wrong. But yeah, I mean, one of the nightclubs I worked in.
Yeah.
The Forte, right? Well, you had these great big stone steps to go up, right? And then it would be like, then there's like a front foyer bit, and then you go in the side there and you get into the club. And I remember the Thai New Year, Thai Festival one year, they somehow got a big wheel up those steps.
Yeah.
And put it out in front of the club.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how the hell did you get this? Anyway, by the time I'd had a few beers, I was on it non-stop, and it was going about 90 miles an hour then. So,
that's bloody brilliant. Oh, I love that. That's awesome, Si.
But of course, back in the day, didn't have a phone. Like, what?
That's it.
But yeah.
Nokia 3210.
Yeah, it didn't make films, did it? And
no,
I probably have got some pictures of it, but probably never bloody printed them out. You know, still on negative.
If you subscribe to Simon's YouTube channel, go back on his videos. He's got a lot of poorly put together videos, but they're like vertical videos from back in the day on the phone, aren't they, Si? But there's some really good ones on there. So like Coney Beach in Wales. Some good old clips.
Well, the Coney Beach one was I filmed for us, didn't I? But I can't remember. You went out, didn't you? Before I was just about to go to Wales or something. I was like,
yeah,
dickhead. So I had to take my
your GoPro,
and the sound was bloody atrocious. That would have been a good vlog.
That would have been a good. We'll have to go now next year now, Si.
Definitely. Mind you, as I say, it's on my channel, Thai Size 76.
Yeah, and you've got some very old stuff from even Winchester Fair, haven't you? Back in the 90s. Is it 90s or 2000s?
There's some in there from the 90s.
Yeah.
Really bad quality, but there's some.
Yeah.
And there's some from the
noughties.
And there's some there from when I'd come back from Asia for a couple of months.
His Belle's really, really small in one of them, isn't she? Like a baby.
Oh, that's
on one of those juveniles, isn't it? On a juvenile ride.
Oh yeah, that's Winchester. Yeah,
that's on there. So go back and look for Si's channel, see some retro fair videos.
Thai Size 76. So was it Sloppy vlogs?
If you comment on those vlogs, Si, and I'll pin it to the top, and they can find your channel.
Yeah.
What about you then, Paul? Like you said, you were just a helper outer on the fair. Was it like that for a couple of years? You just go back and help.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, you know, I first started. The first fair I did was in '93.
Yeah,
and I was still doing the fairs up until I started bus driving in about 2000. So about 7 years on and off.
Oh wow! Yeah,
and yeah, you know, a lot of time, like I say, it was all sort of casual stuff. You know, I'd get the odd phone call here saying, can I do this? Can I do that? I mean, and most of the time it was Bob Stevens with the Roundup. That was the main one I used to do. And I mean, one of the best jobs I did with him was Newbury Carnival Fair.
They don't do Newbury Carnival anymore, do they? That's not a thing anymore.
There's not many carnivals around, unfortunately.
No, there's not. Yeah.
Was it as big as the Michaelmas Fair they have in the back end season? No, that's a big fair, that one.
Yeah. But I mean, as I say, this particular year, I mean, one of the year I did Newbury, that was probably about 99, I'd guess, because I was working at the chocolate factory at the time. And doing that one up there, I mean, you know, I was up there every night after work. I finished my day job, jump in the car, go straight from work straight to Newbury, and you could, you know, in all honesty, that Roundup was non-stop every day that week. It was full loads every time.
Very popular ride back then. I don't know they are now as much.
Yeah, I think they still are, but probably not as much as they were because there's a lot more extreme stuff around.
Yeah, more modern rides and newer stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not many around now, is there? Not down the south side. Not really many Roundups travelling down this way.
Not too many.
I still think, Dave, the thing you should be made to do is do what Si had me doing one year on the Roundup. Now, I don't know if you've heard this story about the night I went up 15 times in a row on the Roundup.
Yeah. No, what happened?
Well, Bob and Simon. I tell you, it was a conspiracy.
So I wouldn't do that.
There used to be a standing thing, yeah, and you knew when Bob was about to send the cage off, send it off. Because the floodlights would come on. That was your cue to get off lively. About to go. This particular night, they decided they weren't going to do that. So what they were doing is Si would step off, give Bob the thumbs up or whatever, and then the roundup was going.
And you're on it still.
I'm still on it, trying to find someone to go and stand.
That's bloody brilliant.
15 times in a row I went up on that thing.
Were you sick?
Let's just put it this way. I wasn't sick, but I was feeling a bit green by the end of it.
It was brilliant, Si. Whose idea was that, Si? You or Bobby's?
Mine, I think.
Well, of course it was.
I think it was a bit of both.
Like Paul said, a conspiracy.
But it was quite funny because, Paul's still at the back end of the machine, like putting someone in, like, because back then you used to have to click them in basically with the chain. And I'd be like, right, get round to the front, step straight off, thumbs up Bobby, and then Bobby would be like, just start it. And then Paul's running around like a blue ass fly trying to find somewhere to go. Was there always somebody to go there? What happens if it was full, Paul? What happened?
There was, as luck would have it, there was always somewhere to go.
He saved you a space every time.
Yeah. There would always be a space up there. I wouldn't come off. I wouldn't have put my thumbs up if there wasn't a space.
Just imagine him just clinging to the middle, the centre. Holding on.
I'd have ended up just standing where the doors are and hoping they don't give way.
Hope they don't go inside out, yeah.
That's bloody brilliant. Oh, I really love this. Is awesome, guys. I'm really enjoying this.
I remember there was one time when we lived up in Tucknage Road. Well, Paul lived in Froman Road. And
I never lived on Froman Road.
Oh, not Froman Road, sorry. Was it Westman Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, Westman Road, sorry. And he had this silver Escort.
Yeah.
No, I never had a silver Escort.
No, sorry, gold Escort, wasn't it? It was gold. It was gold.
I've got a silver Escort now.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I was thinking of. And there was me, my girlfriend at the time, Becky. There was a girl called Diana there, and I think it was Martin Bubb, wasn't it, Paul? The fair came to town really early that year. Bobby wasn't there. It was mainly John Wall, and I think there was an octopus and something else down there.
It's another ride I've never done.
Oh, actually, no, it was like an August fair, and we never had one in August. And I said to Paul, let's go down there. So we all get in the car and we go down there. And we couldn't find anywhere to park on one road. So there's a bottom part of that road where you go over, and it's all like bumps and big holes in it, potholes everywhere and everything. And we were going over this bumpy road, and all of a sudden Paul's like driving it, and you can hear his car going like really loud, and I'm like, what the hell? And I look behind me, and his exhaust system is about it's about 20 yards behind us.
Fell off.
Get out. And then he goes, I can smell fuel, and I got underneath it, I had a look at it, and pulled the fuel line out.
Bloody
I
hell.
was trying to get the fuel line in. This girl, Diana, was stood there having a fag.
Bloody hell.
The whole time with my car dumping its entire tank of fuel on the road.
Yeah, bloody hell.
I don't think we got to the fair that night, did we, Paul?
No, I don't think we did.
You have to sellotape your exhaust back on.
No, it was
he left. I think he left it there. Just...
Rubber band job.
No, I did get it back. We got the AA to come out and reconnect everything.
That's with the whole damn exhaust system.
Bloody hell. Bloody nutcases.
Oh, God.
What about the time that Simon got removed from the fair, Paul? What happened then?
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah.
You'd be naughty, sorry. You're a bad boy.
I wasn't working that year. I can't remember
near
why.
Ringwood. Simon was very drunk.
It wasn't Ringwood.
Too many ice creams.
It wasn't Ringwood, Paul. It's Verwood, buddy.
I said Verwood near Ringwood.
Carnival. Was that the carnival?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Simon, let's just say, got very drunk.
On the way up, wasn't it, in the car?
Yeah.
You weren't driving, were you, sorry?
No, Paul was.
And he was getting a bit verbal and a bit leery.
See, look, he's mellowed out. He's mellowed out over the.
Bob climbed out of the pay box on the Roundup. picked Simon up by the scruff of the neck, walked him off the ground, and just dropped him and said, "Come back when you're sober."
You're getting a bit leery, Si.
Yeah. I went round and saw him the next day, and he was like, "Feeling better now." I was like, "Oh, yeah."
He used to bear with a sore head.
Paul decided to up sticks and just drive home and left me there.
He left you there.
Yeah, bloody git.
To be fair, Si, if you'd been in, if I'd been in the state you would have, I could have understood it.
That's bloody brilliant.
I blame the bloke that came with us, that bloody Nicky Macy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you drinking, Si? Do you remember? What were you drinking?
Oh God, I think it was like that, like really strong Carlsberg Export, was it, or something? What was that Export they used to do, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah, the Carlsberg Export. Tennant Super was the other one, wasn't it?
Oh, Tennant's, bloody hell.
I think it was it was one of those two, and I must have we bought a 24 crate, didn't I? Me and Nicky were drinking them.
Yeah.
And I think I must have got through my half by the time we got there. God,
Can you add?
God, I could just imagine you could do another 2 hours of you just telling stories, but we'll get on to some YouTube questions because we'll definitely do a part 2 though, because there's a lot more stories I can tell, isn't there, boys?
Oh yeah,
there is a hell of a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's one which we'll save for the next one where Paul was a flasher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I want to hear that.
I don't think you do.
What were you flashing, Paul?
Girls.
Right, come on, tell the story, sir. We can't leave it on that cliffhanger. We have to tell the story now. Sorry, Paul.
I've still got it on VHS somewhere, which makes it even funnier.
What happened? Bloody hell, Paul! I didn't know this about you. You're not on the register, are you?
No.
He goes, I don't know what even inspired us to do this. I don't know. There was me, there was a few girls that we all knew, all lived in the same area. And I had Nigel's old bloody, you stick a VHS tape in it.
Yeah.
And we thought, let's go and film like martial arts and mucking about and all this crap.
Like you do when you're young.
Like you do.
Yeah, Simon used to have some strange ideas.
Well, in fact, it wasn't my idea. I think it was Richard Hull's, wasn't it? The whole thing, his idea. To be fair, but anyway,
we'll blame you because it's easier.
Well, yeah, because no one knows who he is. So okay, it's my bloody fault.
Blame Si.
Anyway, so we go down to this place, and there's like this there's this pathway. Why's my phone ringing? There's a pathway. I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'll phone you back. Yeah, so
live phone call.
Yeah. We all went down to this place. They were building the houses. What's it called, Paul?
Is this local, Winchester?
Yes, it's Winchester.
Yeah.
Used to be right next to Henry Beaufort.
I can't remember the name of that road now, but it's what used to be the old field across there.
Yeah. Anyway, they were building houses there. Didn't we put you in one of those cable things once, Paul, and push you around in it?
Well, if you did, I don't remember it.
We put someone in one of them and pushed them around. Anyway, so we go out, and then we're like, what are we going to film? Paul had quite a long coat on. I remember.
Overcoat, was it?
I don't know what it was. I've got it on video somewhere. I'm going to try and get it on YouTube.
We'll put it on YouTube, Si. We'll convert
get it on YouTube. Anyway, this video must have lasted about an hour.
Yeah.
And basically, it was like different. It was.
Oh, hang on. You cut out then, Si. What was it?
Sorry, it was different setups.
Oh, different setups.
Of this.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it hurts just thinking about this.
Come on, I want to hear this.
And he goes, right, what are we going to film? And Richard Hull's like, get Paul to be like a flash or so, and he gets kicked in the groin. We got it. I goes, right, okay. Paul, get in that bush, right? And then we got Michelle and this other girl walk. And I says, right, action. And he comes out, he jumps out of the bush, pulls his coat wide open, goes, cop that.
I'll tell you what, I really talk me into these things.
Did she actually catch? Did she actually kick you in the nuts?
Yes.
Oh wow!
Yeah. But right, we goes, nah, didn't get that on camera very well. Right, let's do it again.
You made him do a second take.
We did and then we changed different things. Going right, no, that one's not
yes,
working.
but sorry, what about when I stitched you up?
Yeah, I'll come into that in a minute. Cheers, Paul. And then we goes, no, that scenario's not working. We filmed it about 20 times already.
Every time Paul got kicked in the gangoolies. How was your balls sore? Were they a bit red raw, Paul?
Yeah, a bit tender.
I remember the next day. He didn't go to work, but he said because he had a bad back.
Bad nutsack.
But one of the funniest ones was when he comes. There was one bit where he's trying to chat the girl up, and it goes right. Paul, you got to say, blah blah blah. And he goes, "All right, darling, how about it?" Like, that's exactly his words as well. She's like, "How about what?" And she goes, "Now I'm more into the sporty type myself." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I can do the splits and that. You see."
Oh my god, that's bloody brilliant.
It must have been about 45 minutes to an hour of just Paul getting completely pummeled.
And I want to see this video. This has got to make YouTube.
You don't.
Oh god, I wish I had a VHS player now. I'd be watching that tonight. It
must be a way you can convert it to DVD or MP4.
There is a way of doing it, yeah. But I mean, just to think about that must have been
poor Paul.
But that was like, I don't know, so that long ago that it still makes me laugh now.
See, the thing is, though, Dave, as I say aside just now, I stitched him up good and proper.
Yeah.
I turned around to one of the girls, said, "You want to do it? Try it and sign it, time." And she did, literally, and he went airborne.
Oh, really? He got his own back.
We weren't even, but it wasn't even part of a film or nothing like that. Not mucking about. It was just like he just wanted to get his own back. So I'm stood there talking to someone, and before I know it, I'm up in the air and rolling around on the ground for about a week.
The Paul had the last laugh.
Agony. No, I had the last laugh.
I learned a very valuable lesson from that one. Revenge is sweet.
Yeah, revenge is sweet.
I've still got it on VHS, Paul. So
Paul.
Yes, mate.
You haven't got kids, so I'm starting to see why. I know why now.
No, I haven't, but through
you're
choice,
a Jaffa, actually.
Right, I say 2 tokens.
Yeah.
You say here she goes. Paul's catchphrase is now cop that.
Cop a load of this.
Cop that.
Paul, mate, that's brilliant. I love it. Next time we do a fair, wear an overcoat and we'll reenact it.
Yeah, we'll just get people to walk along and you've got to keep going, cop that to them.
Oh, that's bloody brilliant. That's made my day. That's what a story that is.
We've had some laughs over the years.
Unfair related, but hilarious.
Absolutely.
Although it was off season as well, so I was back home because the fair wasn't open. So it was sort of winter season. And we've got so many stories to tell you about Paul, even Christmas lights and things like that. But that can wait for the next one.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to save them for the next one. We've got a few member questions, but I think a lot of them we've actually covered in general chit chat. But I'll ask this one because it's a good question from Mark, Raj UK. He wants to know, how the FUNFAIR scene has changed over the years from your time working and to now attending the fairs. What do you think has changed the most?
Everything.
Crowd levels is one of them, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything's changed. Back then, it was like, say, we only open Saturdays and we wouldn't open Sundays in some places because back then nothing opened Sunday. Saturdays would be 2:00 till about 5:30. All the families would be about,
yeah,
and it'd be heavy, it'd be packed. And then from 6 onwards, it'd be all the teens, and it would just be like full of just like teenagers and that. And it was the atmosphere.
Electric.
Yeah, it was incredible. But we used to be open for a week as well. Because I know a lot of fairs do a week's stay there for a week, but they only open for a few days. Then they shut and they reopen again. Well, back then you didn't. You
would go straight through.
Yeah. So you'd open Monday to Friday, 6 till 10, pretty much, and then it would be Saturday 2 till 10. And then there'd be one day out of that week where it'd be half price night, and that night you just couldn't move. So I would say there's still a good atmosphere at fairs, still very good atmosphere, but it was completely different back then. You'd get a bit more trouble as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I said, does that add to the atmosphere when it was a bit feisty back in the day? It kind of adds to the atmosphere, doesn't it? in a weird way.
9 times out of 10, though, it would be off side of the ground, so they'd start fighting in the fair, but then
get kicked out.
If they don't get picked up by their heir and thrown out of the fair, they would have normally already worked their way out there to go and have a scrap.
For good punch.
To be fair, I mean the thing is, going back then, the showman wouldn't stand for any trouble on the ground.
No.
The moment you start to kick off, the ride would stop and it would be sorted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean we like in Burwood, 92. There was a massive punch up in the FUNFAIR. We shut all the rides. No, the rides didn't shut completely. Like Bobby left our ride open, but he's like, stand here a minute, look after that, and he goes off and he goes over by the waltzer where it was. He took his dog with him and see the other showman go over there, and they sorted this bloke out and carried on. That's how it was back then.
Yeah, any trouble and you get all the showmen come together and gaff lads, and
nobody messed with the fairground lot back then. Nowadays, there's no respect for anybody or anything.
No,
back then.
Well, that's it exactly.
Yeah, and is that where a bit of the reputation comes as well? Because they've obviously got a stigma attached to the fact the showmen are hard men, and
I think that's always been there. It's always been there. I think people see a caravan and just instantly think you're below them. Which is sad.
Uneducated people, by the way.
Yeah,
I should just,
uneducated. Showmen are very, very hard working business people. That's what they
are.
It's
like we've heard today, even if you travelling on the fair, like you said, your shift didn't start till 6, but you'll be working your ass off all day.
All day long. Yeah. It's not like we don't do anything in the daytime. It's hard work. And a lot of the time, people think showmen are rich. Well, they ain't. The amount of money they have to spend on maintaining, on insurance, and of course, rides are,
not free to run, are they? There's red diesel as well.
Red diesel, finance as well, if they've got it on finance. Yeah. They've got all these overheads, and with the less people go into fairs these days, it's making it harder for them.
It really is.
I'm telling people that listen now, if you don't go down that fair, I'm going to smash your face.
We're going to get the old feisty side on you.
Get the old feisty side back in. I'll be smashing some chops.
We've got another question.
I know you've touched on this in some of the vlogs, Dave, but your average sort of Joe public, they don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes.
No, they rock up to a field and the fair magically appeared.
That's right. They turn up at the ground. There's the music. The lights are going. The rides are running.
And they bugger off, and it's gone. Yeah.
What I don't see is the work that goes into building those things up, pulling them down, and maintaining them in between.
Exactly. I think most of the people listening to this understand. But like you said, it's your Joe average public, isn't it?
But also, you're saying about how the fairs have changed. Not only have the duration of the fair changed, whereas it used to be a lot, say a week minimum really on most fairs.
Yeah.
You had the likes of Basingstoke Carnival Fair. It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Now Carnival is what, 2 days, 2 or 3 days? You get probably the Thursday cheap night.
Was there for the full 2 weeks. And I think it was open 7 days a week when it was, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So what do you think the duration of fairs have changed time length? Do you think the rent has caused that? They can't stay as long because of the rent is so expensive? What do you think? There's just once the it's in a community, it's in a town, once everyone's been out for a couple of days, they don't bother going back. What do you think is the reason?
Well, I'm a bit out of the loop on it now, because obviously I've only just started doing it regularly again. I've been in the area for a long time. But for what I make of it is it's probably the fact that there's just not as many people going to them nowadays. So they'll stay there for a couple of days.
Everyone who wants to go will go on the first couple of days.
Elsewhere.
Yeah.
They've got to do more moving around to chase the audience, basically.
Yeah.
But going back to what we were saying just now as well, I mean, the other thing that's changed over the years it's, I mean, through discussing with Simon mostly, it's like Southampton. That used to, the Easter Fair there used to be huge.
Massive.
Mm-hmm.
The rides were 2 or 3 rows deep, it was...
Yeah, I remember you guys telling me about this, and I couldn't believe it.
Now it's only one. It's only one line now, isn't it?
It's just that main strip, isn't it, at the path?
Yeah. It used to be awesome, Dave. You loved it.
Yeah,
it was huge.
You got some big hitters, didn't you, Si?
Another thing about why fairs only stay that amount of time is, again, it goes down to it's more family. More just families that go to it now. And these days, teenagers are too busy sitting internet on their phone or whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas, because back in those days, they'd be out every night down the fair. You
didn't have anything better to do, did you? You hang out with your mates after school. You arrange to meet at the fair.
Yeah,
you get a fiver from your mum. That would probably do you for rides for the night and food.
God, yeah. Probably 50p a ride back then.
That's it.
75p a ride. So kids, the teenagers were always out. There was always something to do down the fair.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's so much they could do. They just don't bother going down. So it's
a shame, really.
Yeah, and this is why you get a lot more juveniles and stuff around now, because
that's a family market, mate. Yeah,
that's the market. Yeah, it's changed. It's a shame.
It has. I mean, Si, my favourite time of the evening. It's probably something you don't get on the vlogs app because of the practicalities of it. But the best time for me for the fairs is in the evenings when you got the lights, you got the atmosphere there.
Totally.
Yeah, that's why we like back end season, isn't it, Si? When it's dark early.
Yeah, we do like them fairs.
Because me and Si, we're not in a position to be going to fairs till 11 at night.
Yeah,
10 at night.
exactly.
We've got families, haven't we, Si?
Yeah.
Well, no fairs are open till 11 at night anymore, but believe me, they used to be.
That's it. If they're busy, they'll just stay open, wouldn't they?
Well,
people are there, they'll just stay open.
Used to be a late one, didn't it, Si? What was that? It was either 11 or midnight, wasn't it?
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it was, about 11, I think.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now you get too many old biddies complaining about the noise, Si.
Yeah, I know. They all have to shut at 9, don't they? Not even allowed to speak on a microphone.
Nah, it's silly. It's silly. Absolutely crazy. I've got another question here. I'll answer one more because we're running over here, Si. But we'll do a part 2, guys. Definitely. Yeah. This is one from... I've lost it. Andy Dickinson. He said, "Can Simon spin waltzer cars?" There you go, Si. Can you spin a waltzer car, or can you walk a waltzer?
Yes,
you can. You didn't end up like Paul, did you?
I did. Well, I think we all have. Anybody that's walked a waltzer would have gone.
Yeah, I think you're lying, aren't you? If you say you haven't.
Yeah. I mean, I've walked quite a few waltzers, and even just a few years ago in Winchester, remember, I went flat on my ass.
Yeah, face planted it, didn't you? That's the Matthews one.
So it doesn't. It can happen. It can happen. Of course. But yeah, I can.
To be fair, hats off to the guys that do that on a regular basis because it's not easy.
No,
I've seen the sweat pouring off people.
It looks so easy, but you've got to think about the gravitational force. It's pulling you out.
Absolutely.
As it's going round, so you sort of lean back a bit, and you've got to keep your balance as well over the hills. It's
Can
not.
You hear that, Si?
Not easy. What's it?
There's someone outside my window bloody blasting out "Girls Aloud" here. I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone. What's going on?
Put your radio on again, Dave.
There's someone outside blaring music out. Cut this shit. Can you not hear that?
It's your CD.
So in other words, Dave's
Girls Aloud.
A secret Girls Aloud fan.
I'm not a Girls Aloud fan. So there you go, guys. I hope that answered all your questions. I've really enjoyed this episode.
2 questions. Disgraceful.
I'll do next in the next episode. I cut it short because we went into that story about Paul flashing.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. We'll save them for part 2. But
it's getting on, and I'm going to have a bath and have a coffee. But I've really, really enjoyed this, guys, and we'll definitely do it again. And we'll get Martin on as well, Si, for some stories. That would be good fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Do you reckon Cooper's done a flashing video and all?
Yeah, I bet Cooper's done a bit of flashing in his day.
I reckon he's a secret flasher.
He's flashing his 2 tokens.
Closet flasher.
Yeah, Coops does not approve.
Coop DeVille.
But that leaves me just to say thanks so much for Paul and Si for sharing your life from the fairs. I really enjoyed it. Really insightful.
And there's more to come in part 2. So I'm going to tell you this now. The next part will be 2 tokens.
Absolutely. And Paul, you're up for a second part.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Brilliant, and we'll hear some more stories, tales from the fairs.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's it, basically, guys. Just want to thank you, boys, and forward to the next one. I'm not sure who we got next, actually, but you'll know and I know. So, Si, see you later, mate.
Thank you, guys. Really enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Si, and thanks, Paul.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Yeah, it's been a laugh.
Right, see you later, boys. Bye.
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 Bye.